This is the High Performers Club podcast with your host, executive life coach and entrepreneur, Jennifer Shell. Join Jen as she explores what drives individuals to excel in their careers, sport, personal development, and the pursuit of passions. Our guests share their experiences, challenges, and triumphs en route to success. So grab your notebook and get ready to join the club of high achievers.
Hello and welcome to the High Performers Club podcast, where we celebrate the incredible journeys of those who go above and beyond in their fields. Today, I am really excited to introduce to you a truly remarkable guest, Dawn McEwen. Dawn is an Olympic gold medalist in curling. She is a multiple-time world champion and national champion in curling, and she has not only made her mark on the ice, but also has proven to be an inspiring figure off the ice. Known for her dedication, teamwork, and unintentionally being hilarious, she's spent years honing her craft and pushing the boundaries of what it means to be the best. Beyond those athletic achievements, she is just a wonderful human being. And so I'm excited to sit down with Dawn today and chat high performance, motherhood, motivation, and all things in between. Let's get started. Okay, I am here with one of my favorite people in the world. And honestly, if you have had the pleasure of playing against, playing with, or spending any time in her realm, she's probably one of your favorite people too, Dawn McEwen.
That was Dawn. Hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be here with you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm happy to talk to you too.
I was having a conversation a couple weeks ago and the person I was speaking with it was Danielle English. And she was like, oh, Dawn doesn't usually do anything like this.
I don't. No, I don't like to talk very often.
So I am so grateful that you are, taking the time and giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, it's like talking to my buddy,
Well, I love that. I love being your buddy. I want to start off by congratulating you. I know it has been 2 years now, post-retirement, of one of the best careers as a lead known to the curling world, the women's curling world. What has it been like taking a bit of a step back and, your life has changed dramatically?
Yeah. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. Like when I knew I was retiring and I was looking forward to it and, still to this day, like zero regrets. I'm very happy with my decision. But it's funny, like I was so tapped out at the end of my career. Like I was just tired physically, mentally, emotionally, and ready for it. And then I had that time to kind of like recover. And then I'm like, okay, like I'm at home with my kids. I'm working. I love all that stuff. But I'm like, I still need a bit more. So to this day, I'm still trying to kind of figure that out, because before I was so busy running around, my head cut off, trying to do everything. And now I'm still busy with the kids, but I just have I have a bit of a void in terms of like stuff that I want to do for me. So yeah, I'm figuring that out. But it's so busy right now, especially with Mike being away. Like shout out to all the curling spouses who take care of their kids because it's like the hardest work ever. So
any sport, really. If you're the one at home, it's such a wild experience.
It's wild. It's like all the emotions. It's hard, really hard. So yeah, like I was kind of coming and going all the time before. So I never really felt that, just with the travel and everything. And now I'm like, wow, this is like really hard work. My poor parents, my poor mother-in-law, just all this work they've done over the years with the kids and let us chase our dreams. And yeah, it's quite the roller coaster for sure. But yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good. Like I'm happy. Like I love being able to sit back and watch Mike curl and get the girls to watch him. And I don't miss the lifestyle of curling. I don't miss the training, the travel, all that stuff. I was kind of tapped out from that stuff. So yeah, no, it's good. But it's like, yeah, it's a work in progress. I'm just trying to figure things out to like have a good balance for everything.
So for anybody who is not up with the curling world and its happenings, Dawn's husband, Mike, is also an elite level curler. So they did this simultaneously, chased this Olympic dream for the last, what would you say, like how long, you and Mike have been together for a very long time, but how long would you have been pursuing at the same time? these big things?
Probably when I moved to Winnipeg, which was 2007. So it's over 15 years of that lifestyle. Yeah.
It's a long time to be on a path towards something like that.
And way easier when you don't have kids either. So it's
Right.
like when the kids came in the picture, that's when things got, obviously more complicated and emotionally and everything, right? So yeah, it's been a journey for sure.
What was the emotional part that complicated kids being welcomed into the picture?
Oh man, that's like my biggest challenge for me in all of my curling journey was definitely um, balancing motherhood and curling. For me, I think like right away, it's funny because I had like Jill and Jen to look at and see how they were doing it so well on the road, and they made it look easy, and when it was my turn to go through all that, it was just so hard for me. And I think like my anxiety escalated big time. I felt guilt. I felt fear. I felt all kinds of crazy emotions, just trying to like balance all those emotions and balance, trying to be the best I could be. It was really hard. And like the anxiety definitely got worse as time went on. And I think it's just as soon as I became a mom, it was just all these extra emotions kind of happened that I never had before. So it was definitely for me, it was a struggle that I'm not really sure I ever figured out. But yeah.
I don't think it's something that you're ever going to figure out.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? It's like always just a work in progress. You're always just trying to make that situation work. And whatever you're presented with, whether it's a tournament you were on the road with or, going to the Olympics and big travel dates and lengths away, it's like that's the present, hurdle. And then from there, you figure the next one out. It's
totally, yeah. I remember. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's almost less about figuring it out as a whole, because when your heart lives on the outside of your body, and you and I share a lot of similarities in our suffering with anxiety, it adds a whole layer. Or
oh yeah, absolutely. It's kind of something I'll never forget was during the trials in Saskatoon that we had won a couple of years ago. That was a really hard event for me because the kids stayed home. It was COVID. And Vienna was really sick that week. She had a fever and some kind of virus was going around. So she was like literally in bed, lethargic, upset, crying, wanting her mommy. And here I am on, FaceTime, just devastated because I can't be with her. I just want to be with her. Right. So that was all going on that whole week. And Avalon was just 7 months old. So, that's tough being away from a 7-month-old for a week. During that period. But I remember, I'll never forget this. I called you halfway through the event and I knew I had this gut feeling. I knew we were winning. And I called you crying because I'm like, I don't want to leave my 7-month-old for a month, like when we win. And I'll never forget that. It was just like this feeling I had inside me that I felt before. And I could just see the way the team was clicking, and I could see Jen was on another level in terms of leadership and confidence and composure and being calm. And it was just everyone was so united and had each other's backs. And it was just this massive gut feeling I had. And I'm like, we're winning. I know we're winning. So
even as you say that now, I literally get chills because I think everybody felt that individually. And I heard it that week from each of you, independent of each other. And it's the craziest feeling to have a core belief. You knew at the core of your being that you were winning that trials.
I did. Yeah, I did. And I never said anything to anybody else.
No, but everybody said it to me.
Yeah.
And we had worked so hard together when we were working together for, the 6 or 7 months leading into that trials to cultivate that belief. And then when everybody was feeling it on that level, and I think I said this in my episode with Jen, but Victor and Lisa called me immediately after the final. And that was a roller coaster in itself. But then they were like, oh my God, you can create your own reality. This is insane. We knew. And I'm like, you knew. Dawn called me 3 days ago. She doesn't want to go. She doesn't know what to do.
I want to go to China without my child.
Yes.
It was hard. It was it was the most effed up thing because it's people would kill be in my position, right? And here I am crying because I don't want to leave my baby. It was just like, that's just, I don't know, but it's just how my brain's wired. I can't manage that as well as others. So yeah, it was
Well,
really,
I will say that the most brilliant thing about you is that despite the fact that it obviously there were struggles and there was some challenging moments having to leave and, especially through a quarantine period, blah, blah, blah. Like that was
oh,
insane.
yeah.
But still top of your game, top at your position, always working really hard to be the best.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it was out of competition or in competition, it would be hard, I think, for people to believe that you were ever struggling.
Oh yeah, I know. Like I wanted to be the best lead that week. I wanted to make all my shots. I wanted to do everything I could. But on the flip side, I was really struggling. So I remember having a conversation with Jill about it. She's like, I can't believe you played the way you played, given the state you were in that week. I'm like, I don't know. You just do it. I don't know.
Do you separate it, do you think? Like, was it your on ice persona or was it your on ice frame of mind? And then you were allowing yourself to have that off the ice? How did you differentiate between those two, felt experiences?
Yeah, I think I just knew my job on the ice, and you just have that mindset. And then when I get off the ice, I kind of just take a breath and just deal with what I'm feeling.
Yeah, it's a lot. And I think that, even in the spirit of the Olympics being on right now and seeing some of the athletes, and there's so many peaks and valleys through a career in sport at that level. You have no idea what's going on in the background.
No, none. Yeah, it's, from talking to a few other athletes, I definitely know I'm not alone. I thought I was alone for a while. I'm like, this is like, no one else seems to struggle, but no, I talk to others. They're the same frame of mind. So it's kind of nice to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, you don't want to be isolated in something that feels isolating already as it is, right? So to know that there's that like kind of connection with other people experiencing something similar, but just really goes to show you have no idea what any human is going through, regardless of how they seem. And then further to that, when you're in the limelight in any way or there's a spotlight on you, it's like you have no idea what someone's going through to be able to perform like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. It was even like you were talking about being the COVID, times. And it was like, I'm very, very, very thankful that I have had the opportunity with Sochi to experience what it normally feels like to lead up to an Olympic Games. Because obviously with those Olympics in Beijing, it was COVID and you just couldn't do as much. But that was like a really dark time leading up to the games too, because, if the powers that be could have had their way, they would have wanted us to quarantine like on Christmas. And, I'm like, I'm not going to leave my baby for 2 months. So yeah.
No.
And then there's all this fear. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything because if you get COVID, you can't go to the games and all that. So it's just like the hardest time ever. Yeah, I just wouldn't want to relive that period again.
And it's hard when it's something that you're opting to do, right? When you're not, but like you're not really, because it's your path in life and you've dedicated every ounce of yourself to this path. But then at the same time, it's like, you don't want to complain because it's such a beautiful like accomplishment.
100%. Yeah.
So I can't imagine the turmoil that causes to have that many layers of excitement, but then nerves and then worry and then feel like it's
so conflicting. It's such,
right?
Yeah, it's so hard. And I finally, thank God, I finally felt that excitement and that joy and all those amazing feelings when we were like on the plane going to China. I was like, okay, it's starting now, like now I'm really excited and just so thankful for the opportunity and like love my teammates and just want to, do the best we can do out there. So I did have that feel. Thank God I had that feeling when we were actually, going there and we got there. It was so exciting. And it just reminds you, why you do it. And yeah, it was awesome.
What's it like for you now reflecting back on all of those moments and all of your, like, there were so many huge accomplishments.
Yeah.
Do they feel real yet?
It's funny. I say to the girls, I said this to Jen and Jill before. I'm like, I wish I wrote everything down because like there's so many experiences and stories and tons of things that happened that was amazing that I've probably forgotten about because there's just been like so much stuff happening over the span of whatever, 15 plus years. I don't know if it feels real. It's kind of crazy. Like now that I'm retired and looking back on it, I think it becomes more real, but in the moment it definitely doesn't. If that makes sense, at least for me. But yeah, I just feel so grateful. Like I just have so much gratitude. And that was one thing that Jen always told us. She's like, she would always say to us, just remember to be very grateful that we're in this situation right now and remember it and feel it. She was always so good at that and helping us just remember to do that. And that's like one of the many life lessons I took from her. But yeah, I look back on it. I just think I'm very grateful for the people I've had the opportunity to be around and my teammates, and very, very lucky.
And now you get to experience it from another seat in the venue.
Yeah.
Watching Mike go through, an incredible season he just had. And he's been through so many accomplishments and big games and big moments. What's it like watching versus playing?
Oh God, it's way harder.
Like I would sell my soul if anybody is listening right now and can set up a Dawn McEwen cam for watching Dawn watch Mike. I would be like, I will personally sponsor that. Your face every time cameras would pan to you is like the most genuine, authentic stress I've ever seen.
And that was the authentic me. It's funny. I had people a lot of people reach out to me and be like, oh, it's so fun watching you. And I'm like, I didn't know I was on because whatever the feed was on the Jumbotron, it wasn't me. So, I felt I could be myself when I'm watching and stressing out and all the emotions. So yeah, it was funny that, yeah, I remember watching his last shot against Dunstone and I had my hand over my face. And I was just peeking my eye through my two fingers. Like just ridiculous, right? But it's just, I don't know. It's just what I do. But yeah, it's so hard to watch. It's, yeah, I don't know. I want it so bad for him. Like I would give away all my accomplishments for him to win a Briar. Like that would be, yeah.
I know. Oh my gosh. Loving someone and wanting the best for them on that level is just, it's unique. And it's another thing to be really grateful for. Right. And I'm sure he feels that.
Yeah. 100% his biggest fan. Like I just love watching him play. And yeah, it's always fun to watch. I feel like now I can really get into it. Like before when I was curling, I would watch, but like now I feel like I can really get into it, like my whole body and soul.
With that one, just like palm your face. With your one eye. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But every time you would watch when you were playing, it was always like next level of, right? You're like, what's next for me? When am I next in the schedule?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, no, I love watching. It's fun and it's just way harder. Like playing is so much easier. And yeah. I have some stories, but I won't get into it. It's fine. It might not.
Right. We need stories. That's what we're here for.
Okay. Well, you don't have to necessarily play it, but it was during the 1-2 game of the Briar in Newfoundland. And I remember being in the stands, like double fisting my drinks, like just so nervous. And I'm with my old skip, Jen Hannah. And we're just like, whatever, having the time of our lives, watching the Briar or whatever. And I remember I was pretty drunk in the stands. I remember the camera got on me and like, I don't love the camera on me. Like I don't usually like need the attention, like that's not me. But the camera came on me and I'm like, yeah, just like totally get into it. Like
just both drinks spilling,
just double fisting while, screaming, whatever. And just like, oh my God, it's embarrassing. But yeah, no, I do it all when I watch.
Yeah. There's so many versions of you. And I think there's more that we haven't seen. So I'm really looking forward to this competitive season. You were such a huge part of, we're just switching gears a little bit, but you were such a huge part of making sure, in my world where I had any ounce of control in the Grand Slams, making sure that there was equality for women, whether it be in a number of events, TV, broadcast hours, and prize purse.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you? And now in the middle of what is a massive women in sports movement, and we're seeing what it really means to be a woman in sport. How do you reflect on that now?
I mean, I think, yeah, we've had lots of milestones, like you mentioned, the purse and TV time and stuff like that. I still think there's room to grow, especially when it comes to like maternity leave. That's something that's, just reflecting on, kind of talking about it before. I think that be great if that could be something eventually that was talked about, especially with curling. It's just tough, right? Like you take some time off and, your team could lose points because obviously there's, 4 or 5 core members of a team, and it's not easy to lose one of those members for an extensive amount of time. Then there's the whole, thing about pressure to come back. And that's a whole other topic, right? So, but yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it's been nice to see some equality with things. And yeah.
You led a lot of those conversations. And I think that you, if given the opportunity to now, would still to advocate for some of the things that you went through in the sport.
Mm-hmm. It's funny, when that whole pregnancy rule came out a couple of years ago at the Scotties, and just knowing my personal struggles with pregnancy really sparked like an emotional chord for me. And I was pissed, and I was like, I'm going to tweet about it, and not really expecting much of it, but it got legs and it got to media outlets, and I was being interviewed and all this stuff. I really didn't expect it, but I kind of feel like if there's anything I can add, maybe that was a little bit of it during that period. But yeah, I don't know. I just, with me having my struggles with all of that, it definitely hit a chord and felt like I needed to say something, whether it helped or not.
The struggles being
Just
anxious and
well, just even trying to get pregnant in the first place. We're having a rule where, it's almost like it makes you feel like, well, we don't want to try and get pregnant or be heavily pregnant around the Scotties because then we can benefit from this pregnancy rule. Only some teams can. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, women have such a hard time getting pregnant. Now you're adding this extra pressure to it all.
On top of the pressure of where in the cycle can you get pregnant?
Right. I know.
And that's like if it's a walk in the park, which for most women, it is not.
No, not at all. So yeah, I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we doing? So I don't know. I'm not very outspoken with much, but this kind of made me upset. So I said something, and yeah.
What would you like it to look like moving forward? If you could have an impact on any scale, what would you like it to look like? What's the support that's needed?
I don't know. I think the big thing for me, I mean, there's 2 components, I guess, just, I don't know. I'm going to get flustered now with an answer, but I think often of like when I came back from maternity both times, I felt extremely pressured to bounce back and be ready to curl again, and not for my team at all. It was just my own pressure because you just, you want the best for your team, and you're trying to just, get back into the swing of things as soon as possible. And it's probably not a good idea. It's probably not good for the body long term. I remember with Vienna, I had to have a C-section with her. She was breached and like lodged into my rib cage. So that was happening. And part of me was like, yes, I don't want to give birth to a baby. But, and then that was kind of near the end. I'm like, okay, like this is going to add on to recovery time now. Right. So, and then I had added on extra time being off the ice and blah, blah, blah. And luckily we were able to get, a slew of spares to help out. But again, you still feel guilty because it's like, they're having to adapt to a different player every event. And, all this guilt just comes in. Am I going to be okay to bounce back? Am I still going to be okay to sweep properly? Can I still throw it hard if I have to, even though I'm a lead? But yeah, I felt a ton of pressure. I think it came back. I was 9 weeks, I think, postpartum with Vienna. And I remember my doctor telling me, she's like, you're going to have a lot of pain when you sweep because of the
incision or whatever it is. Yeah.
But it's like, but you don't care because you're just trying to get back on the ice and help your team. Right. And I feel like just if there's something there, some kind of cushion for women to have, and not penalize the team in terms of points or something like that, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I mean, just coming back from childbirth in life is such a challenge.
Right?
Coming back and getting back to an elite level high performance sport, right? En route to an Olympic trials. I can't even imagine the pressure. And the pressure from I don't know where, but probably yourself to prove, like, I know my entire pregnancy, I was like, I'll probably come back to work early. I'll probably come back to work early. I'll be back. Like, I just, it'll be, you're trying to tell yourself, like, I can do it. This isn't going to change me.
Totally.
And you want everyone to feel that too.
100%. And with Avalon, I was the most motivated I've ever been to curl because I knew that was my last season. And I knew the trials was, whatever, a few months. I had her in April. So I think I started working out again and throwing in June after the C-section. So I was like, okay, I have this amount of time to be the best version of me I can be for those trials. And that was my goal. And I was so motivated. And I remember it was like, I would pack up Avalon. I would drive her out to my parents they're about a 25-minute drive from my house, and then drop her off. And then I would drive out to Morris, Manitoba, which is, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes from there, go through for a few hours. Obviously at the beginning, you're trying to just slide really, and feel normal again. And then there's the whole sweeping component. And I did that all summer. And at the same time, I also revamped my outturn. I completely changed it. And because I just wanted to be so similar to Jen. And we had talked about it for a couple of years. So I had all these things going on. While, I'm Avalon's 9 weeks or 6 or 7 weeks old. Right. And I just I look back on that and I never want to do that again. That was it's funny. I was talking to one of my friends who has a baby now. And she was like, how did you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I literally blacked out. That whole period is a blackout period for me because I just did it. I wanted so bad to be I wanted to play the best I could possibly play with those trials. And I wanted to prove to myself and anyone else who cared that I can bounce back from a C-section at 41 years old and be the best, lead I can be and be in the best shape I can be. And I was so motivated for that. And it was I'm glad I had that motivation, but it was so hard and would never want to redo that again.
Honestly, I'm exhausted even thinking about it. When you reflect on that now, or how did you, once it settled, once you came out of the blackout, how did you praise yourself? Were you aware that you had accomplished something so huge?
Yes, I did. I was like, yes, Dawn, I'm where I want to be. I got my strength back, probably even more so than it was before. I worked my ass off. It was really hard. And luckily I can look back on it and be like, I gave it all I gave. I could give.
Go girl.
Yeah. And I zero regrets in that category.
I have a hard thing with motivation because I think it can be very fleeting. And I mean, at your level, maybe not. But what do you think creates motivation?
I think the people around you. When I think motivation, I think Jennifer Jones. I feel like she is just a special one of a kind. And when I joined the team, she taught me about work ethic. She taught me about having high standards. And I wasn't really aware of what that meant when I first joined the team. And, I just learned so much from her. And I think part of me being the player I was is a huge reflection from her. And she's just she causes that motivation, that inspiration from teammates. She gives them that. And she definitely gave me that. And I feel she was that one big source that helped me turn into the curler I was. I think you're going to ask me one point, what motivates you after your curling career? Mm-hmm. And for me, that massive motivation is to maintain an active lifestyle since curling. That is a non-negotiable for me. So it's been hard though. It's a couple of years now in the works of how can I balance, I have a desk job, going from being so active, working out, training every day, to basically having like a 9 to 5 job, right? And doing that. So yeah, I 100% need to work out every day. Like that's just my non-negotiable. That's just like for like my mental health to like feel good about myself.
How do you get there when it's not the first thing you think about in the morning? How do you push yourself to get there on a day when you'd rather not?
But it is there.
It is there.
It is there. Yeah. Like
can you share that with some people?
It's weird. Like I almost go to bed like, oh, I'm excited to go work out in the morning. Like that's just my brain. That's just how I don't know.
That's what sets you apart. We figured it out.
I love that. And like, but I'm like, hey, but I'm still staying at home all day working and I'm still not active enough. Right. So just trying to figure out things to do, and like, it's tough when you have your kids because you can't exactly just drop them and go off and do something active. Right. So at least with Avalon right now, it's impossible, but with the age. So I got a walking pad. So now I'm walking while I'm working.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I'm just like, I need the activity. Just give me something, So
okay, does it disrupt your typing flow? Like I was worried that there was going to be some like movement.
It sometimes is. So I'm working on it. It's still new. So I'm working on it. Yeah, typing and walking can be a little tricky. I mean, if I walk really slow, I can type no problem. But I like to have some oomph when I walk, So
if you're jogging, it's fine.
Yeah,
it's a light run.
I can't be. What's the words? Sedentary. I can't. I have to like. I need to move. This is just me. So yeah, I don't know. Mike thinks I'm nuts sometimes. I'm just constantly. What can I do now?
Yeah, I got to keep going.
Yeah.
And I mean, you're used to being that level of busy or challenged or anything like that. So it's like,
yeah,
must feel like it's what keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
What would you say now are your current kind of goals, or what's your next step? What's the next step for Dawn McEwen if you were to think big picture?
Oh boy.
What would you love to do?
Well, I feel like right now I'm a little bit pigeonholed because of the age of my toddler. So like just getting through that stage will be a little bit different after that. But I don't know, like I really enjoy my work. I feel very fulfilled by it.
We would talk about it, but we're not allowed to because Dawn's a secret agent. So we go into it, but can't.
Can't, sorry. Yeah, I enjoy my work. I don't know, like I think like little things, like I try and find different things to do with my girlfriends, like activities or whatever. Like that's what I'm at right now, right? Like I'm like stay-at-home mom who, my husband's away and trying to find fun things to do. I don't know. Like I don't have anything big in my mind right now. I would love to do something in curling at some point. Whether that's like mentoring a younger team or something. Like I feel like I have some good information I can help kids with.
A bit. So, like don't get ahead of yourself.
But I just find right now I'm so busy with like my children that I just can't even think about that. And with having my husband gone all the time, it's not going to work. So I don't know, like, yeah, we'll see. Maybe down the road if I could do something. I would love to get back to the sport. Like the sport doesn't owe me anything, but I love to get back at some point.
Yeah, I feel like you would be such an asset to any young team, any team. Honestly, you've even spared on some of the top teams and just absolutely dominant performance by Dawn McEwen, even when she comes back for an event or two.
I don't know that, but yeah,
truly.
I spared with Carrie Anderson's team, and those girls are great and had a lot of fun. And yeah, it's nice to pop in every now and then. The opportunity arises. Played some mixed doubles with Mike. We actually lost the final of a spiel last summer, so that was kind of exciting. Played.
How's that on your marriage?
We needed like a 4-year or 5-year break from like the original competing, I think. But
just the 4 or 5 though, like it wasn't a major break. It was just
we were like, maybe this isn't good for our relationship. Maybe we shouldn't grow together. It's kind of where it ended.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, we'll try again. And we had fun. We had a great time.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was fun. Can't complain.
There are some crazy car alarms going on in the background.
Yeah.
Like the whole street went off at the same time. So it was a good experience. So now you guys,
Good experience. I would like to do it again at some point. I'd love to play another spiel. Like if we could play maybe 1, maybe 2 a year, if that's an option. I don't really want to travel those. That's the thing. Like it's great when they're, local, but yeah, I mean, it's funny. I threw in October with Carrie's team. I went with practice with them for the Pan Continental. And then I hadn't thrown a rock until like April. And I went with Mike to go hold the broom from one day. And it's funny, like, I don't know how I did it, but I turned the practice from holding the broom for him to it turning into a technical practice for myself. And he's at the other end. Like,
step aside.
Yeah, I want feedback, right? Like I want to know what I'm doing, and he's like, "What's happening here? This is supposed to be my practice." So, but it's just in me, right? Like I just can't get rid of it. I just want to be perfect. So I had no reason to throw rocks. It's just, how my brain works.
I love that. You go there, you hold the broom, and then you're like, "Okay, Mike, hold my beer." Like I'm in.
Yeah, basically, I'll just throw a couple, and then it turns into like a half an hour ongoing.
Mike, get me the laser.
Yeah, I think we're really close to that, actually.
I love that so much. It's just, but I think that is what differentiates, somebody of your accomplished career and level from, the regular person. It's like, you can't just go and like be a bystander because it is in you.
Yeah, no, it totally is. Absolutely.
What would you say now, looking back, like what were some of the key moments? Obviously the massive accomplishments, but is there a moment that stands out even during those?
I was thinking about this question. I don't think there is. I think for me, it's more of like people in those moments that I think of. Like I've been so fortunate to have like amazing experiences, but I feel like it wouldn't have turned out if it weren't for those people. So like, when I think of important people in my life, my curling career, I think of like my very first coach, like Bob Hanna. He was like the first person that really believed in me, like in terms of curling. So I always think about him. He was a real student, or is a student of the game. He really taught me about like technical excellence. He was very into technical stuff. And it was really cool. Like I said to the girls, guys, I'm moving to Manitoba for my then boyfriend, and I'm going to play with Team Jones. And, he didn't have to, but he like took me out on the ice and taught me all the tolerance shots about like what it is to play lead, and, just give me any kind of information and knowledge I could before I went to go play with them. And it's just like, that's just the type of guy he is. He just cares for you so much. And so I think about him, and it's funny, like the whole opportunity with Team Jones never would have really happened if it weren't for like Jill Officer, because she's such a loyal person, right? Like I was moving to Manitoba and I had met her at the Scotties in 2005, and she's just like, just easy to talk to with Jill, right? So I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, I'm moving to Manitoba and I'm looking for a curling team." And I said, "But don't say anything to anybody because I'm like, it's still really early and preliminary, blah, blah, blah." So she didn't say anything to her team, but at the time they were actually looking for someone on the team. But Jill, being the loyal person she is, never said anything to her team. So it was just kind of funny how like eventually it was said, but it was just that whole conversation kind of like sparked some kind of connection to Team Jones with that opportunity there. So yeah, that's kind of.
She is just one of a kind, though, Jill Officer.
Totally is. Oh my God, yeah.
Right?
If you know her, is to love her. Like she's just.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
I think about my coach Janet, who is like,
yes,
I love Janet. I looked up to her as a lead idol. Like she was just like a star for me in curling. And she was always really big on like working hard and pushing the boundaries and like never giving up, and just like she's a workhorse. Like, and she would expect that from you. She would expect nothing less, right? Like she had a high standard for everything in curling. And she really taught me what it's like to have tough skin, because she did. it was so fun to watch her, like, just not give a shit and just say what she thinks and
I love that.
believe in what she feels and all that. Yeah, it was great. And I think like late in my career was Victor. Victor was like my hype guy. Like he was like the guy that like my biggest cheerleader. He helped me revamp my outturn in my career and was just like so like he utterly had so much belief in me and like confidence in me. And he would like always say, "Oh, you're so good." Like he would constantly say that to me. And it was just like when you hear that all the time, it's like you believe it, like and yeah, you just the things he would say wasn't even how he would say it, it's just the way he said it. It was just so impactful and like had like a massive impact on me. And it was just like the best guy. Like I loved having Victor as a coach. He was so good and just like really passionate about the game and passionate about the people he works with and like
and his wife.
And his wife, obviously.
Oh my gosh. No, you know what? I love nothing more than hearing people's feedback on Victor and the impact he's had.
And unreal. Like I wish he coached me longer because he was so good. Like
and lead to lead too, right? Like he really
had like this connection.
He was so invested in Don McEwen performance.
Yeah, it was amazing. So he was like, he was my guy. And then I think about like if Jen missed that shot in the 2005 Scotties, like my life would be totally altered differently. Because we would have won the Scotties, we would have been Team Canada, and I would have been like, "Sorry, Mike, I'm Team Canada. We're gonna keep curling. I'm, not gonna leave Ontario," and it just would have totally altered my life. So everything happens for a reason, and
yes,
pretty cool.
It's like what's it called? The Sliding Doors? Is that the movie?
I think
the Gwyneth Paltrow movie.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Where like if you when she misses the like it's a completely different. That was that shot.
Totally, yeah. So like it totally impacted my life, and I would never have all these amazing accomplishments and amazing people in my life, and
What's like a feel good moment you look back to though? Do you have one or something that makes you laugh or something that like stands out to you?
I don't know. I do. When you said that, I think about my team, how like we had this like banter back and forth. Like they'd always make fun of me in a loving way, Like, it's funny, weird. I saw Jill the other day and we talked about how like little things like, we get back to the hotel and we'd be walking down the hallway and I kind of would forget where our hotel room is. And I would keep walking down the hall, going the wrong way, and they would let me go, and just stuff like that. Or like, they know to never, ever let me be in charge of giving directions in the car. Like we will end up in a total other area. And that even like that conversation came up. Mike and I were in Ottawa a few weeks ago or last month, and I was in charge of directions. And you think I would know because I lived there all my life, but I hadn't lived there in a while and things have changed. And of course, I got us lost and I'm like, oh, if the girls are here right now, they'd be
roasting you.
They'd be roasting me. Absolutely. So I don't know. There's been lots of like just fun times on the road. Those girls know me so good, and just like amazing bonds with them I've developed and will have forever. And I just think about like, I remember when Jen retired and I was like saying, all the accomplishments we have are amazing, but it's like the life memories that are what's really like, I'm going to remember the most,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, just, I don't know.
Well, and you grew through this entire space and sport and with these people, right? Like this is the majority of your life, let alone adult life.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's pretty wild to think that you've, right?
I know.
Seen everything.
I look back and I remember being the young one who joined the team who never had to stretch and would just kind of like walk in the curling club and throw, and now I'm just, at the end of my career, I'm going, oh my God, if I don't stretch, it's just the end of the world, So funny how things evolve.
I love though that through all of the accomplishments, the world championships, the national championships, the Olympic gold medals, undefeated, two-time Olympian, the things that you reflect on are the people. And do you know what I think is even more interesting about that is you would be one of the first names a lot of people who got to walk alongside you through this journey would say.
That's nice. Yeah, I've been fortunate to be around a lot of great people, a lot of intelligent minds of the game. And I think back a lot about Jen and just how she, again, I think we kind of talked about it before, but like she kind of taught me what it's like to have work ethic and having these high standards and expectations for yourself. And I kind of evolved into that player that wanted that for myself. And I just like throughout my whole career, it was just like pushing to be the best I could be. And I think like I've never really had a defining moment in my career. I just feel like I've had like relentlessness and like in terms of just wanting to be the best and
the utmost consistency.
And consistency, yes. That's what I'm most proud about when I look back on things is that I feel like I was pretty consistent and that all that hard work paid off. And it just feels really good to have that feeling and to look back and see that.
What was the hard work? And I know that sounds like a stupid question, but like in your process, what was the hard work? Because I know this about you, you are a total perfectionist, like would not get off the ice until the shots were made and nailed. Just absolutely so dedicated. What was, when you talk about hard work, what was that?
Again, it goes back to Jen. I think just watching her, like seeing what her expectations of herself and the rest of the team are on the ice. And I just developed that mindset. It's funny, like earlier on in my career, like we would go to practice all together and I would watch Jen and she would like never want to leave the ice until she made an in-turn and out-turn draw. And then I developed that. And then so like it would just be kind of like I would kind of just copy off of her and see how she kind of did things. It's funny, like I would always do that and the girls would laugh. And I would always say, can I just throw one more time? Just one more time. Like, cause it's like I would throw it good, but like it didn't feel like I threw it good. Like there's something slightly off, whether it's in my mind or like in my technical or whatever, but like that's just how anal I was. Like it had to be absolutely perfect in practice. And it's funny, it makes me think about my very last practice when I play competitive. Like going to that practice, I said to myself, okay, Dawn, like you can't go crazy. Like you can't have this expectation of it being perfect. Like whatever it is, it'll be great. And then you can walk off the ice and be like, boom, 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 I'm done, And I had to do that because it was just like, otherwise I would have been out there.
You'd still be there.
I'd still be there. I'd still be on the ice practicing at the Granite Curling Club. Like it was just, it was crazy. So I was like, again, like the OCD kind of connected in there too a little bit, it was just like, I was relentless and just like constantly like, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again.
Even Mike, in talking to him, he had said that you don't want to go to practice with Dawn. You're going to have to drag her out of there because if it is not like absolutely perfect.
Yeah. But again, it was like me post-retirement. And this is another time I went through rocks. This is a little bit earlier on from when I retired. And we were throwing and he was like done. He's like talking to the ice maker inside. I'm still on the ice. And he's like, oh my God, like you got to go. Like, come on, I have no reason to be throwing, but that's just what I do. So
I love that. It's just part of you. It's who you are.
It is. Yeah. It was, yeah. I loved it. I love practicing. It was great. I love practicing with my teammates. I always felt like I got so much information and like just knowledge from them. And I love practicing on my own too, because especially before big events, I like to at least get like a couple in all by myself, just to like feel everything and just be in my head when I'm throwing. Yeah. So I really did enjoy practice. Sometimes I would go, I'm like, oh, I don't feel like practicing, but then you get into it and you love it. So
it's just getting there.
It's getting there. Yeah.
Yeah. After going through all of these things and reflecting back on your career, what do you want your girls to take away from seeing you? I mean, Avalon's so little, but Vienna certainly will remember seeing both you and Mike in really high level competitions. And she's seen you win a handful. What do you want for them in their lives? What do you hope that they take with them?
I guess my thought would be like, don't be afraid to learn to get better. And again, I learned that from my teammates, like always wanting to be better, always wanting to learn. I think it's really important to be vulnerable. You need to learn what you don't know, right? So just always be open to feedback. That was something that I wasn't necessarily really good at when I first joined the team. And then I learned that. I'm like, no, this is really important. You need to do this to be better. Talent can only take you so far at some point. So, I just think just don't be afraid to learn from others and try new things. That's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah. And try new things and then master them.
Exactly. Master.
And don't leave practice until they're mastered.
Yeah. Vienna's curling. I try to help her and she's like, Mom, I don't need your knowledge. That's what she says to me. So I'm like, okay, well, we'll try again next year.
Well, yeah. And I think that's just going to be your parents, right? Like you don't want to hear from your own parents.
Yeah.
We ended up something for work on the ice with Brent and Jen and Bella and Skyla and Victor and Amelia last a couple weeks ago. And it was amazing because Jen's out there wants to give Bella feedback and the rest of the world wants nothing more than Jennifer Jones to come in and support them in getting better. Okay. It's like dream scenario. And she is like, Mom, Mom, please. Then Victor steps on the ice and she is laser focused. Everything he said, she was just eating up, doing what, and it was just such a funny thing to watch, that display of Mom, please.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. I think it's in every parent kid situation, right?
Yeah. You're their lifeline, not their, they don't see you in the same way. It's just that's just what my mom does or did, or right. It's funny.
Exactly. Yeah. I wish that would have seen me a little bit more I wish she could remember a little bit of the curling when I played, but that wasn't in the cards.
There's a lot of evidence of it. I think we'll be able to walk her through some of that greatness when she gets old enough to remember.
I have this video from the 2018 Worlds final of Vienna and Bella and Skyla and Cameron, and they're all in the box. And back then, there weren't a lot of moms competing at that level. And so I really take pride in that video because I'm like, wow, this is cool. Their moms are playing in the world final and they don't really care, but this is so cool for the moms to have them there. And I remember looking back at that moment going, wow, this is pretty special. And now it's normal, for moms and
of course,
being high level. But yeah, back then it wasn't as prominent. So it's pretty cool.
And then went on to win that world final.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a fun week. That was an amazing venue. Top 2 venues I've ever played in. It was unreal.
And energy and just the fan base behind you. It was unimaginable.
Yeah. I remember walking out pregame, just walking to the sheet because we have to go practice for the game. And everyone is going wild and screaming. And yeah, it was insane. It was so cool.
Special.
Anna, I walked down the ice with her in my hands and everyone was cheering her on. And she's like, this is awesome. Just
take it in all in. Is this for you?
Yeah.
So cool. I love that. And I love those memories. And that is so special at that time. Not a lot of people were traveling with their kids, and to have them there and watch you guys accomplish what you did and to be in the pictures on the ice afterwards and just, make history with them is pretty incredible. And I don't know how you all did it, operate at that level, reach those milestones and, do it with kids in tow and pregnant and all of these things. I'm constantly mystified by everything that the women in my world have accomplished. It's incredible. To wrap up, I want to do some quick questions, which I will do every episode. So I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. We're going to start off, and you don't have to be quick. Okay. They don't have to be one word. I mean,
okay.
Which habit do you religiously commit to and couldn't live without?
I know it sounds kind of silly, but I think the working out, just being active,
doesn't sound silly.
Yeah, I need that.
So if that sounds silly, I need more silliness in my life, okay? Can you describe yourself in one word?
Complicated.
Well, I love that. But are you?
I feel like I am. In my head, I'm complicated.
Okay. We can break that down, not here. But I think you're
Like, what
You're
would
like
you
a
say?
breath of fresh air.
Oh, wow.
That's what I think. You're just like so light
Oh, that's
and easy,
Mhm.
like in a good way, not in like a easy
Yeah,
way.
I get that. Yeah, I'm pretty easygoing.
Yes. It
Yeah,
just doesn't feel like it if you're in your
it
head all
doesn't
the
feel like
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
probably the thing, yeah.
But I mean, it's your word to describe, right? Okay. What is the primary factor you would say contributed to your success?
Oh, what is the primary factor that contributed to my success? Um, Probably my determination, I guess. Just determined to be the best it could be. Again, motivated by my teammates and people around me.
Mm-hmm.
And
But that determination, like you wouldn't stop until you got there.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Do you follow a specific motto or self affirmation that you say to yourself?
Yeah, I definitely am working on it. It's a daily thing, but like living in the moment and being present, that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Helps tremendously with anxiety, not worrying too far in the future as well.
Yeah.
It's like trying to be like, am I okay right now?
I know. Cause I always live in the future. It's like, what's going to happen then?
Right.
And what do I do? But like, I just know I just want to be in the moment and just enjoy this moment and be present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And understand that like it's all a series of present moments. It's not, right?
Yeah.
We could get into that and go a mile down that
I
road,
know.
but we could do that together another time. What's a piece of advice that strongly influenced you?
I would say always say please and thank you. I say that to like, that'll get you far in life.
Yes. Just having good manners,
You
treating
have a
people
good manner.
kind.
Yeah, exactly. Be treated the way that you want to be treated.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your favorite chip flavor?
Right now, it's the brand Siete. It's the cinnamon churros. They're unreal.
I don't even know what you just said, but it sounds amazing.
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
There's
They're like, what are they custom? Like, what do we?
I just found them. I don't know. I'm trying to eat like less seed oils and stuff. I'm trying to eat
Yes, good.
that. So this stuff's unreal.
Okay.
It's like you feel like you're eating a churro.
But it's not
it's-
horrible for you.
No, it has just avocado oil in it.
Okay.
Less
Hey, we're into it.
Yeah, I'm on a new health style wellness kick right now. So
Okay, we need to talk about that and hear more about all of your tips and tricks for that. That can be our part 2.
I got lots.
I know you do. So we need a little bit of your like motivation, your tips and tricks, and we can all go on a healthy lifestyle journey together. Okay, that's part 2.
Okay.
When did you realize that you were destined for big things?
I don't think I was destined for big things. I think I just had a lot of people around me who worked really hard, were very influential in helping me in my journey. And I just kind of soaked it all in from them. Yeah.
There wasn't like a specific moment you're like, whoa, this is getting real.
I don't think so. Like, people might say maybe the Olympics when we won the gold, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know.
It's different when it's you.
It's different when it's me. And it's like, it's sometimes hard to believe that stuff is real. Like, I don't know.
It is. I mean, you have it in your house.
I do. Yeah. It's just like, I almost like, I need to watch back all of these games and stuff. I think that would be fun.
But that would be so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to do that every now and then. Be fun to kind of relive the memories.
Mm-hmm. Not only do you have your Olympic gold medal, but when you got back from the Olympics, did your neighbor not like, I don't know if it was like out of snow or maybe paper mache or something, like a huge gold medal on your front lawn?
Yeah, Mike's aunt had a huge gold medal. Like, congratulations on the entire front lawn. Like, maybe we want to like not make it as obvious.
For the person who flies under the radar, like no other, was like you could have landed a plane on this.
Oh, it was huge.
Art installation.
Like, the nicest thing ever.
So cute.
I know. And I've talked about like the Winnipeg trials because that was like the most amazing. If there's like a defining moment in my career that I will always like remember like so like definitively, it would be the Winnipeg trials because it was like being at home, having all my friends from Ottawa flew in to be there and it was -40 that week And they're like, where the hell do you live? Like it was
Yes.
insane cold. They were all there and just like, yeah, I don't know. Anchorman was there. He was there for a bit, right? That was fun. No, it was just cool. It was just amazing event, like friends and family. And we all played so well. And again, I had that feeling. It might not have been as necessarily as like powerful as the one from the trials in Saskatoon, but like I just had a good feeling because it was like, it just when you see your skip in that zone and in that aura playing so good and it's like nothing can like break her bubble. I'm just like, yes, like just.
I remember Caitlin saying that too. Like that was another time she had that kind of core belief.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so fun playing for Jen. Like she was just like, I mean, I know I sound biased because I'm a teammate, but we just like, I learned so much from her and just like an amazing mind when it comes to like wanting to learn. It was funny, even after we won the gold medal in Sochi, like literally like a couple of days later, and she's like talking to some of the coaches, like the national team coaches, and being like, okay, how can we be better? Like, who can we talk to next to help us get to the next level? Like, she's just relentless and it's amazing. I love it. Like, just like when Jen's doing that, I'm like, yes, I love that she's like, because I don't have the balls to like go talk to people and be like, how can we be better? Like that's just not how.
And then you guys went on to win the Players Championship that year, and it was so cool.
Yeah. I know. It's so like just with Jen, which is like constant, just like how can we be better? Like, yeah, it was amazing. Like it was just neat, like kind of like understanding that someone's driven that much. Like it was just something I'd never seen before. So it was, yeah, really cool. She's just, yeah. Again,
a bit of an anomaly, that one.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And yeah, it was just having amazing teammates was so good. And like sisters for life. It's amazing. Amazing career I've had.
It is. And it's fun to reflect on it with you.
Mm-hmm.
What is something interesting about you that not many people know about?
I have a couple of tattoos.
Oh my God, like a full sleeve under there?
Yeah. I never showed you? It's been last week.
What are your tattoos of?
I have one on my back. I can't remember what it is. Like a dolphin.
No, come on now.
Something stupid.
What is it?
I think it's like a dolphin with a flower, like a little flower wrapped around it. I don't know why I do these things.
How old were you when you got that? And also, can Mike confirm that that's what it is if you don't know?
No, I'm pretty sure. I was like in my early 20s, maybe.
Okay.
And then
we've all got a couple of those, I think. Well, yeah. I do.
And now I'm like, why do I have these tattoos? Because I don't want my daughter to get one. But anyways, too late now. I have one on my ankle as well. And then we were watching.
What's that one?
It's like a butterfly.
Cute.
Yeah, I remember I have a picture of me getting it done and I'm in total fear, like grabbing my friend's hand and like this big bald man. It's pretty funny. But we were watching the Olympics last week and I'm like, you know what? I kind of feel like I want to get a tattoo maybe. So maybe I'll get another one. I don't know. Probably not, but.
Would you get the rings?
Yeah, like a very subtle ring situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably won't do it, but.
No, I think we should. I think we should make that happen. And then record a live podcast episode.
Oh, God.
John McEwen, like you've never heard her before.
Right?
It's just F-bombs.
Yeah, pretty much.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. I feel I'm honored and so grateful that for someone who doesn't do this often, you chose me.
It was fun. I like talking to you.
I like talking to you too. Call me.
For sure.
Oh my God. It's been amazing. And I feel like people will love to hear you open up about your career and your journey and all that you've been through. And you're just so real for sharing every piece of it, even the challenges. And I can't wait till we get to do this again.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen.
Thanks.